All right, obviously, my resistance was winning, and technology did not work for me today. But we are going to record this and then share it after. That's the way it's working out. Oh. First off, I'm going to do some deep breathing, and then when I'm ready to start the actual meditation, then I'll let you know. But I think it's an appropriate time to teach the breath that I teach, which is the 5-5-5 breath. It's a deep inhale for a count of 5, holding your breath briefly for a count of 5, and then exhaling slowly. I'm going to do that several times. I'm also doing something secretly that people won't see, that I'm kegeling and moving the energy up to the crown of my head as I inhale, and as I exhale, that energy is coming back down. So I'm going to go ahead and do that a couple of times to clear this energy out. All right, shifted some of that out. Put on some forgiveness oil here. And then we can start. I'm sure you're getting messages from these horses left and right.
No, everybody's just standing holding space.
Oh, okay, good. I'm back. I'm going to set my timer. The actual meditation part of it, so the first half I was thinking we would focus on me doing the meditation and guiding them into a little bit of relaxation. As I release emotions from my body, I'll be working on my energy to release emotions of people that are in my intentions, but people that are watching as well. And then on the second half, you talk away and share your wisdom as to what you saw happening when I was recording the actual meditation, and anything else that comes up, you can ask questions, and we'll make sure that we use your wisdom to guide me into understanding all of this resistance that has been happening today.
Sounds good.
Woo! And you can hear me clearly, right?
Yeah.
Aloha, this is Diane, Goddess Unleashed, and today on my podcast, I brought back Jess Campmans for our very special horse healing and energy healing session. Recently, this week, my cousin passed away on Monday, so we had planned this over a week ago, maybe almost 2 weeks ago. I can't remember when we recorded, but when we recorded, we decided that as a collective, we want to help the world and reach more people and really do a healing practice that goes a little bit deeper as we combine our two practices together. And it just happened to have land on the week where my cousin passed away. So I have dedicated this special podcast and this Facebook, which was supposed to go live on Facebook, recording to share our message and to really support the community. We're going to start off with a meditation, which I have been visualizing for many days as I work through my grief, as I work through my anxieties and stress and underlying self-limiting beliefs from childhood. I've been visualizing this perfect day meditation was what it was intended to be first off, but as the week has evolved, I've actually switched it up, and now it's going to be a beautiful day meditation where I bring in a deep relaxation, guide you into using your 5 senses on this beautiful day, which we are going to manifest. Now, all of these meditations that I create to get the best effect, it would be for you to repeat and listen to the guided meditation, which I will release on YouTube for you to have access just to that audio. Repeat it for at least 7 days, preferably 21, to begin to see how you can shift your mindset and shift those self-limiting beliefs that hold us back, that negativity that keeps us feeling stuck, frozen, and overwhelmed, that create symptoms in our bodies. Some of you may be new to my podcast and never have heard of me before, but I'm a registered nurse. I used to assess people using this, and now I assess people using my mind and my gut instincts, and really understanding what are the messages that the body is giving us and what is the action that we need to take to release these emotions, these energies and stress that we are holding inside of us. I used to suffer from chronic pain, tons of digestive issues. I actually wrote a book, well, 2 books. My practice is recently merging into combining the 2 realms of my creativity. So the first book is The Truth About IBS and Anxiety, which is really about tackling your symptoms and understanding how to love yourself and treat your body the way it is designed to be treated. And the other one that I wrote, which is under an alias, is called A Walk in the Tuscan Sun. And it's about connecting with yourself at a deeper level. And that is where I'm merging into teaching orgasmic meditation and how we can really learn our bodies and release stress at a really deep level by making this deep connection. And this meditation is just the beginning of a realization that we can tap into our 5 senses and really relax and let go as we visualize our perfect day. So I do invite you to listen to this again. Now, before we jump into this, I invite you to take in a deep, slow breath. Hold briefly at that top of the inhale and exhale slowly, just to relax your body, just to calm down your nervous system. We tend to hold on to a lot of stress, and I invite you that when you listen to this meditation, that you actually listen to it every morning as you wake up, so that you can begin to ingrain this pattern into your subconscious. You can also use it. So take in another deep, slow breath. Exhale. Slow breath. I invite you to close your eyes and relax. Allow the sound of my voice to guide you deeper and deeper into a state of relaxation. There's nothing to do and nothing to think about. We're simply visualizing ourselves to manifest our. This is a simple meditation about letting go of any thoughts, any negative feelings, any beliefs that keep us feeling stuck, closed, and overwhelmed. Creating a beautiful start for that perfect day. And we're going to call it a beautiful day. I invite you to take in another deep, slow breath and allow the sound of my voice to guide you deeper. Any noises that may arise, sink deeper and into this visualization. Imagine now you're laying on your bed. There's no sounds, it's quiet. There's no alarms ringing, no children running around. It's simply quiet. I invite you now to feel your body and taking a deep, slow breath. Allow yourself to sink even deeper, a state of relaxation. And in order to tap into this beautiful day, you will start a day with gratitude. Right now, you're placing one hand at your heart, simply touching your heart, or imagine your hand placed on your heart, creating a sense of connection. Taking another deep, slow breath and notice how relaxed you feel simply by breathing, relaxing, and letting go. Releasing the lips upon your heart. Now I invite you to imagine everything, everyone who was lately, everything in life gives you great joy and gratitude. Allow the sound of my voice and any noises that you realize allow yourself to feel this gratitude. It can be gratitude for something that is here with you or someone that is no longer with you. For that love, for that person that comes from whoever comes to mind. Allow yourself to feel that love. Notice how that love grows within you and creates a flowing light from your heart. This free light and in each moment takes live in gratitude. Connect with everything you are grateful for, all of those and people and situations. Will allow that new light to circle around you, bring you a deep sense of relaxation and calm, looking for a safe and support, safe and support. As I guide you deeper into this field, I invite you to feel those sensations in your body, maybe little tingles around your chest, on your face, feel the energy of your body as you take a deep breath. Then upwards, slowly down, to what you are within, picking up all the fish and the sound, taking your intuitive sense. It's time to get up. And as you sit on the edge of your bed, you feel a deep sense of calm and relaxation, deep sense of joy, off the edge. And as you step down, feel the earth below you. Feel how safe, supported, how grateful you are for this floor around you. Fill you with a deep sense of energy and relaxation. And as you walk towards the bathroom, go into normal routine, you will continue to feel the ground below you, how connected and safe and secure. Simply living in gratitude, connecting with your heart, and feeling the earth below you helps you feel calm, centered, and relaxed. As we approach safe and turn on the water, feel the water, feel the water, sense a deep sense of calm and relaxation. Deep sense open up the toothpaste and smell, taste, brush, brush away any negative thoughts, any negative words, any negative and allow yourself to sink into this. Allow your mind to guide you into this. Sense how it is cleansing away any impurities, cleansing away your body with any negativity, as you rinse away all of the toothpaste. You're more invigorated, more calm. And as you splash the water upon your face, scrub your hands, laving the soap, you feel more invigorated, more good, more relaxed. And as you progress your face and cleanse away any negative thoughts, any negative beliefs, you cleanse away your face. I invite you to notice your face. That beautiful face. Notice those eyes, that mouth, that face is here to connect with that gratitude for yourself, for your body. Take another deep soak breath and feel those sensations in your body that give gratitude for this moment, the simple things, the little things that sometimes we rush through and don't focus. Allow yourself to feel how relaxed you feel simply going through these simple things. Now I invite you to notice that maybe you've never put lotion on before, but today you decide that you're going to apply some lotion. Show your body how much you love and appreciate yourself. And as you apply lotion, you feel a deep sense of invigorating, maybe little tingles emerge around your body that you simply wait there. Imagine on this lotion. Now I am going to guide you in a simple forgiveness, a little forgiveness, body and your mind, for any emotion that may be in this. And each time you caress upon your skin, you will experience and invigorate your body to rest. I will guide you. As I recite you, simply imagine caress. But now it is time to get ready to follow you. Imagine yourself going through talk to your family, talk separately. Simply imagine this happening. You feel all the spiritual emotions flowing through, and you are appreciating everyone in the as they arrive. Maybe someone says hello, the food tastes so delicious, but you really appreciate it a little longer. Simply allow the day to unfold and imagine anytime that you may feel stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, all you need to do is connect with gratitude once again, taking a deep, slow breath, visualize this beautiful day, or set aside some time. Notice how your day is going by so much easier. Everything is flowing well. Obstacles may arise, but they don't throw you off course. You know exactly what the answers all lie within you. And simply connecting with your self-love and gratitude helps you find your center within, helps you find your home. I invite you to notice how relaxed and how peaceful you feel. And if you find want to connect with this inner calm, this inner sense of relaxation, all you need to do is visualize this beautiful, deeply breath. Let go of anything and notice how your body sinks deeper into relaxation. And now we are approaching the end of your day. And it's time to wash away any stress from that day with the shower. Like you can imagine the water is running. It is the perfect temperature for you. The exact temperature. Imagine the water is rolling away down your skin. Maybe you feel a little sensation in your body. Maybe you feel, sense, or experience the color blue. Color blue is cleansing stress and helping you relax, relax deeply of calmness that goes everything like now. Imagine once again that we are going to connect with our gratitude. Please imagine that you are thinking anyone who comes to mind. We are here. Allow yourself to feel grateful for the time you have to experience. Feel that love and connection growing deeper within you, creating that love and bubble of perfection. It's getting stronger and stronger with every breath you take, surrounding your body. I invite you to remember that that bubble is always there. And every time you connect with this gratitude in your heart, it will remind your subconscious mind and your body that you are loved, safe, and secure. I invite you to take another breath and notice how you have cleansed away, release all those negativity, completely relaxed, getting ready to settle back from your day. And I invite you once again to settle down and get ready for that. Take a moment, deep, slow breaths, and feel how your body relaxes. And now, as you will awaken, you will take all the positive energies, all the positive vibrations, those joyful sensations and colors, and anytime you see the color green in nature, or experience the color blue in your environment, it will only tap into your subconscious and remind you how you are loved, how you are safe and safe. And as I go through one, you are almost back. Don't let this little visualization will support you and help you tap into that. Two, your awakening soon. You can take all of these colors with you to live that beautiful thing. Three, You can awaken now, taking all of these sensations with you and live your beautiful day. Okay, that beautiful day brought some tears to my eyes because obviously my cousin came into mind when I was recording this. So, beautiful things. We shall see what the horse wisdom tells us on the second part of this episode. Definitely, if you want to hear the meditation, I'm actually going to record it once again when I'm indoors and not in such heat, and share that recording on my YouTube channel. But I will also share this video so you can just see and experience what I've been going through this week, working through grief and emotions and self-doubt and all these beliefs that are ingrained in our subconscious from our childhood, from things that happened to us in the past and cause us to be stuck and frozen. What you may not realize is that I've been stuck and frozen, but pushing through my own resistance for more than 2 years as I've unveiled the traumas and things from my past that have been holding me back. And today was definitely me pushing through and not allowing life's challenges and obstacles to stop me from doing something that I had set my mind to. So I thank Jess for joining me on this part, and we'll be right back in a second to start the second half of Horse Wisdom. All right, so we're gonna start now the Horse Wisdom part. Let me reset my clock so I know how many minutes we have. All right. Aloha and welcome back. As I said on the first part of the episode, we had the meditation. I definitely invite you to check it out on my Goddess Unleashed channel on YouTube so you can listen to it every day. I will be re-recording it and tweaking it with some background audio and in a much more relaxed environment than I am right now. It's kind of hot out here, but I invite Jess to speak now and share her horse wisdom with me as to maybe what she picked up with everything that's happening to me with the loss of my cousin this week and everything that may have come through.
Thank you for that, Diane. And thank you for this opportunity too. I love that we get to share a space where we both bring who we are and our experiences into a way for everybody to receive what they need from one of us. So just taking a deep breath, that was a beautiful meditation, and I loved watching what the horses offered through their own movement and what I was kind of feeling from them as you kind of got deeper into it. And for anybody that was watching the meditation, if you were in the meditation, wonderful. And if you're actually observing what the horses were doing, because actually, if I just step back, I call myself an equine guided sacred messenger, guided by Equus, so guided by the wisdom of horses. And that's my pathway to where I am today, which is tuning into my own intuitive and innate wisdom through what the horses are showing me, and being able to translate that, and also what is actually going on in my entire environment at the time. So it was kind of fascinating to witness all of that. At first, my hands were really cold because it's been pretty windy here this morning. And as I went through as the meditation progressed, the sun started shining, and I'm actually almost ready to take off my vest because it's fall here in Alberta, Canada, and so the weather changes dramatically. But it's also that kind of helped me understand that there's this sense of being frozen, right? Being frozen in our bodies, and so that chill throughout me is kind of what it felt like maybe we've all experienced at some point, and the warmth that came later was that thawing of those frozen aspects of ourselves. And it's interesting because the horses are all kind of stepping in and showing up now. But at the beginning of the meditation, they started all chasing one particular horse around. And she's the oldest horse, and she's actually been part of the group the shortest amount of time. And so both of those aspects, it's like they were chasing around that most vulnerable part of who we are. And where it started is that they all turned and faced south. And it was like something had caught their attention. And so that idea of facing south feels relevant to our inner child, right? The child, the youth is found within the medicine wheel in the south. And so it's like there was some aspect of being really vulnerable as a child that we're trying to drive out, or is maybe emerged and is not comfortable being in the circle right now. So once I realized what was going on, and they were all almost attacking her. And so if I can just share my own experience with this, that is kind of exactly my own story, is that I felt that that really vulnerable part of me, which is this part that is actually able to tune into this intuitive aspect of myself, was not safe in the world. So from an outside influence, it was being attacked. And then also we don't want to feel that vulnerable, so we kind of let it out the gate. So I let her out the gate. And then everybody kind of was moving around and milling around, trying to re-find their spot in the world like we maybe do through our lives. But it's interesting, what's just coming is that even though we think that we don't need that aspect of ourselves, you know, something that happened during a traumatic event in childhood, or, you know, and those things keep recycling and resurfacing in our lives. And so we want to let them go. But the reality is that she's right out there, that vulnerable aspect. We can't let her go because actually it's bringing that aspect back into this circle. And these guys are all kind of facing each other in a way that is speaking to the idea of an integration. Because this horse right here is the youngest of all of these here. And she's actually the only one who's also carrying a foal to be born next spring. So she herself is very vulnerable in a different way. And so these two are brother and sister. And so it's like this familial connection, which is where our greatest vulnerabilities are found. Well, I hope you guys are following me, because I love all of this. And this horse right behind me feels very representative. She's always been the one that pushes boundaries. And I know that I need to step forward and speak up more when she gets behind me and pushes me forward. And then the licking and chewing is like an acknowledgement of a recognition of an energy. And so these guys have actually helped me really find my voice within this. But I feel like your story, Diane, and my story, and all of our stories are very similar in the fact that we are all wounded in some aspect of ourselves through our childhood. And we want to let that go out the gate, right? So we don't have to deal with it or acknowledge it. And because it is vulnerable, and she was going to get hurt in here, so I let her out the gate. But as the sun started shining in and the wind actually shifted direction and the horses all settled, and as you went deeper into the meditation, there was some yawning going on behind me and a resorting of all of where they were at in their spaces, within this space. And this one over here went to lay down, which is helping ground that, and a reflection of the energy that I could actually feel drop through my solar plexus. Because within our solar plexus is our power center, right? It's where we find our ability to stand up for ourselves, stand up for who we are, and speak our truth, which is that sense of being super vulnerable. Because when we do that, we can be attacked. And at the same time, being able to stand up for ourselves in who we are and being able to speak and express what it is that we know to be true, the world actually begins to reflect that back to us on some level as well. And the more we do it, the easier it becomes for us to do that. And the more we actually begin to resonate with our own our own innate, authentic, and unique frequency, and the ability to be attacked becomes lessened, if this is making sense, because we have created this energy field around us that is supported by all aspects of our life, which these guys really are my life, and being outside is my life. And so as that was kind of going on, all of a sudden, these feathers just started swirling around, which kind of helped me identify that when we get to recognize that we actually need that aspect that's most vulnerable, we need her to come back into the circle, and then we are able to find our healing through that. Because feathers symbolize to me, like when I see them or when they cross my path or come across my path, that we're being supported in ways that we don't even know where they came from. And I could say that there's an owl that lives here and that there's birds, but when it's that significant that things are showing up as signs and symbols in our world, it's because we've actually let go in a different way. Not let go of that vulnerable piece, but let go of how we think that it has to become. And in a way and in a sense, we have faith and trust in these aspects that are supporting us and behind us in this, to just really stand up as who we are. And so I feel like as that was all kind of unfolding, I'm just going to, she's right there. And now there's really nothing in this pen to encourage or coax her to come in. But these guys, yeah, it's being able to kind of set ourselves free from our own inner circle so that we can actually go out and join that vulnerable aspect and adventure into the great unknown.
I love that. I love everything you said, and I actually got messages over here from nature while you were talking. So you talked about the change in your sensations in your body, like feeling cold and then feeling hot. I get those messages all the time, and today I'm actually very hot, like the sun on purpose moved on top of my head when I was doing that meditation. And really it was connecting with the loss and the grief that I've been experiencing. And I love how you said that they connected, like they were all family. The horses were together, because that's really what today is. Today is our family grieving her loss, and tomorrow is the mass. So it brings up a lot of emotions for everyone. And of course, now as I'm talking, I see butterflies again. So you talked about the solar plexus and how that is our power center, and the butterflies came out at that moment, and now they just came back as I was talking. And really, for me, it was about letting go of those chains that bind me. I like to call myself Goddess Unleashed, because what it is I was being held down by roots, which were self-limiting beliefs, negative thoughts, all of these things that were ingrained in my subconscious from things that I couldn't process as a little girl. And whenever we have challenges like this, like the death of someone that you love, or any kind of challenge that happens in our life, because we all have challenges and obstacles, it's giving us the opportunity to evolve and work through them in a new way in order to really support our inner child, which is really what I focus on the most, is supporting that inner child and helping people find what makes them really joyful, what made them joyful when they were a little kid, what are the things that they need to tap into to help calm their nervous system, to relax their bodies, to have more fun, and to appreciate the little things in life, so that we recognize the butterflies when they fly around, or the birds that come near us, or the beautiful gifts that happen in the most unexpected moments. Like last week, I was singing to my bird outside and he flew away. My heart sank. Our bird is $500. I had just lost my kid's pet, and I had to really step aside from that stressful moment to center myself and figure out what to do. And what I decided to do was to meditate in front of my house. I said, tell me what to do. Give me a message, give me a sign. We don't always listen to the gut instinct. And what something told me was walk. So I went walking, and I went singing and talking to my bird. And guess what? I found him like 6 houses down across a really busy street, waiting for me to go get him. So sometimes the answer is waiting for us. We just have to go within and find that strength and notice that we are protected, but we have to work on ourselves in order to realize that protection is there for us.
Yeah, I love that. I love all pieces of that, because that's exactly what I feel these guys were portraying and everything that you just said. And with having the courage to go within, because what the answers that we need aren't found through our rational mind, right? They are found when we go within our body and when we start paying attention to those sensations that maybe we're scared to feel. But as soon as we allow ourselves to feel them, and actually what I kept, when you were talking, I kept getting the idea of around our throat chakra, and that there's something. So I got 2 things actually. That was the first thing. And so just recognizing that, and notice if you're watching this too, and even for you and myself, I'm sure we all have similar commonalities with the throat chakra and being able to actually speak what it is that we needed to say. And it's funny because as soon as you were done the meditation, you paused for a minute and I went to say something to you and I hadn't realized that I needed to clear my throat. So it's a good thing that we had that quick pause, because being able to recognize that I needed to clear whatever was in there out actually allowed my voice to come out more true and authentic. But just kind of breathing into that space, it's like there's something that needs to be said, and often we think it needs to be said to someone else, and I have the gift of being able to say whatever I want to these horses, and they accept it in a space of non-judgment. But this thing that we need to say, that we feel like we might need to say to someone else, we just need to say it to we need to say it from within us, outside of us. And it's like it's clearing a pathway for that inner child within us that experienced that trauma, to be able to speak something that they never got to. And that's like the doorway of the connection to the solar plexus. And then the other thing that I got was almost, I want to say, a message from your cousin. And it's not in words, but it's just in this sense of, the 2 words that are coming are like richness and clarity of being invested in realizing a truth. So I don't know if that means anything for you, but it's like there's this recognition that is wanting to kind of be acknowledged. So I'm going to leave that for you, and maybe you and more than you need to hear that too, but it's just this, like now I'm starting to get tears. It's just this, this gratitude almost. So I don't know if you can take that for whatever it is. Yeah, but I loved all of this, and these guys have all actually left the space here and gone off. I don't know if you can see them all up there. It's pretty windy, that's why I keep coming back. They're all grazing as a group over there in a space that is protected from the wind. And actually it's probably warmer there than anywhere because the sun's coming kind of from the southeast and shining in on them. And so it's like being able to regroup ourselves in a way that we've moved all of that through us allows us to find that place that we need to be, right?
I love everything that you said. And when you were talking about what came to you, what came to me was clarity of mind. And it's interesting because it's been a class that I've been resisting to teach. So I launched it on social months ago in preparation for me to be able to teach it. So I was teaching a 7-day stress cleanse to work through my stress and resistance to do it. Then over the past 2 weeks, there was a huge clarity of mind as I was actually able to cry and connect with the hurt in that inner child that's never been able to cry for 42 years. And then suddenly this happens where I lose my cousin, but I was finally able to cry about it, to experience those emotions in the raw moment and feel the changes of the emotion throughout my day and be able to shift it. And it was all preparation for me teaching clarity of mind, teaching people how to get clarity and balance. And finally giving me the courage to teach what I know needs to be taught, which is the orgasmic meditation, which is me bringing both those sides of me together, and helping people connect with their bodies and connect their chakras. So you talked about the throat clearing. I always have to clear my throat. That's my biggest fear, is the fear of being heard and fear of being seen. And that's something that I have been working through for these past 2 years. So it's interesting that you talked about the throat and having to clear it. And I felt the same thing as you would be speaking. I could feel where energy, gets stuck. And that's what I guide people into doing, because I've learned how to do it in my own body and realize exactly where things get stuck. Like this particular week, when my family was talking about the hardships that everyone that is closer to her, so her direct family, has felt so much stress and overwhelmed because it was so sudden. I actually had symptoms in my body that I had to treat in that moment, realizing that I was taking it on. And this week has really been working through getting those symptoms away quickly so that I can manifest what I'm supposed to be teaching the world, of the magical things that I've learned about our intuition and how we can heal our bodies from within.
Yeah, I love that. And same thing with mine. I wouldn't be standing here. And it's that idea of we learn the lesson to be like, we experience what we need to be the teacher of, right? Without being able to move through that experience, there are ways to teach it, but not an embodied way to teach it. And so my entire life has been experiencing everything that I've needed to in order to be able to stand here and share all of this with you. And it hasn't come easy. And yet once you realize, oh my gosh, that was actually a beautiful gift, right? And that's kind of the same with this idea of healing, is that whatever it is we need to heal ourselves is like the biggest challenge that we face in our lives. And so to have the courage to actually embrace it, right? And with that throat chakra too, this is something that I kind of learned or discovered or developed along the way, but the idea of holding space, which the horses were doing beautifully during the meditation, but we can hold space for anything or anyone or ourselves. And so just by using our hand over that area of our body, like the throat chakra, all of a sudden you'll find you have to take a breath or swallow or something. And that's resetting our energy field to give space to whatever it is that was present there that needs to find a pathway out.
Absolutely. And we do these instinctual things that we're not even aware of. Like we'll get a headache and we'll touch our head, and it's because we need to move energy. We'll get a tummy ache and we'll rub our stomach. We need to move energy. And I love guiding people into be able to make that connection and feel the flow. Because when we get trapped, we get frozen, we get stuck, it manifests inside our bodies. And that's what keeps us feeling that way, is because we don't have that flow. We don't allow it to happen. And we need to feel the grief, and we need to feel the sadness, and we need to live in that moment to find the positivity out of it, because our hardships and challenges are part of our story.
Yeah. And I love that too. And that's exactly, I've been in this position, and we all have, right? And it's part of living and part of the sacredness of life. And by actually allowing ourselves to feel all of those emotions, that creates a deeper connection to something that we don't even know is there until we move through those feelings of it.
Yeah, we all have to go within. It's the journey that we were placed on this earth for. And it's really a powerful thing once you connect with yourself in that way. And I'm glad that we were able to share this difficult moment with me because it is a difficult moment in time, but it is a way to help people realize that the answers are within and that our body is giving us messages and even our environment is giving us messages. We just we have these blinders on and we can't see them.
Yeah. And so it's opening up to that. And thank you for being so vulnerable in this space and showing up still, because that takes a lot of courage.
Thank you. Thank you for joining me. I think it was a beautiful episode where we're giving back. Make sure you let them know where they can follow you, and I will tag you on this on YouTube as well.
Yes, so you can find you can find me at Jess Campmans, JessCampmans.com. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I love connecting with people and sharing horse wisdom insights. And I'm also on YouTube, and I have a weekly energy healing inspirational message from the horses that comes out every week. So find me on there. Yeah, and I look forward to connecting with anybody who's interested in experiencing or learning more about this.
It was a beautiful show. Thank you, Jess, for joining me. Stick around so we can talk after. This is Diane Big. Aloha.